Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Hi students, welcome to the Chaitanya studio of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. Today we will start with the block 2, Humans Communication and Leadership. The unit 1 is on human communication. Let's begin with the introduction. What do you mean by communication? You must have heard, you must talk with your friends, you must have communicate with your family members. You have to understand here what do you mean by communication. Communication means passing of information from one person to another person. This word derives from Latin word that is communis. Communis means meaning to share. Communis means to share the information with others. Here we have to understand the types of communication. There are two types of communication, verbal and non-verbal. What do you mean by verbal communication? You must have observed your day-to-day communication with your friends, you must have discussed with your family members, you must discuss with your elders, your family members in your organization. This communication is known as verbal communication. Verbal communication includes emails, video conferencing, phone calls, SMS, chats. These all are a part of a verbal communication. Next comes non-verbal communication. What do you mean by non-verbal communication? In your day-to-day life, you must have observed when you are talking with your friends, his body language, his or her body language you must have observed, the gestures he or she gives during the communication with you. So, these all are the part of non-verbal communication, like facial expression, gesture, eye contact, body language, etc. These are the part of non-verbal communication. And in verbal communication, we talk directly with the person. Similarly, we talk in a phone, video conferencing, all are included in verbal communication. Next, we will study the barriers of effective communication. There are 5 barriers, key barriers in fact, for the effective communication. They are language, cultural diversity, gender differences, status differences, physical separation. We will study in detail next. In language barrier, if let us take an example, you know Hindi and you are talking with a Marathi person, with a Telugu person or a Chinese, let us take an example, Chinese, Japanese, the language you do not understand, and if you would like to do MOUs, Memorandum of Understanding for your company, will you be able to communicate with them? Of course not. Language barrier, the person, the party with whom you are talking, if she is from if she don't know the Hindi and if you don't know their language, so definitely you will face the problem. You won't be able to communicate what exactly you want to pass on the message to them. Next comes cultural diversity. If you are in India, or let us take an example, if you are in China and you want to do MOUs as per the norms of an Indian government, will it be possible? Because their culture is different from others. You take any country, you take any states of our India, their cultural differences you will definitely face. Third is gender differences. This is a very important point to understand, is the gender differences. Nowadays, females are getting the status, but earlier it was not that. So where 5 males are discussing on a point, and if one female enters, they will definitely try to avoid or try to minimize their discussion. Reason is the gender biasness. Third comes status differences. Let's take an example of an organization. If you are a vice president in XYZ company, and if you behave in a manner that no workers or no team members would come to you directly to discuss the issues, so what will happen? Because of this attitude, because of this status difference, you will not be able to understand the actual problem, actual issue is in your organization, and you won't be able to achieve your goal on time. So, status difference should be avoided. You need to discuss, you need to communicate with each and every level of your team. You need to discuss with the workers, with the leaders. You have to communicate with them to understand the issues properly. Last is physical separation. If you are in XYZ pharma industry and you would like to do MOUs with ABC of chemical industry, what will happen? If that ABC company is in USA and you are in India, what will happen? Because of physical separation, you won't be able to meet them, you won't be able to communicate the exit point, what you would like to discuss with them face to face. Next we will see the Jahari window model. Do you know from where this word comes, Jahari? This model was developed by Joseph Luft and Harry Ingram in the mid of 1950s. So, the word Joseph, the Jo comes, and from Harry it's Jahari. That's why the name of this model is Jahari model. This model is for self-understanding, self-awareness and personal growth. Next, we will understand this model. Here, you can see the 4 quadrant. First is known by self and known by others, means the area which is the area of your life which is open, which is known by others. Next quadrant is hidden area. Hidden area, the area which you know but others don't know. Let's take an example, your weakness. You know your weakness, you always try to avoid to share with others. So, that is hidden area. Hidden area, it is known by yourself but unknown to others. The 4 quadrant is blind. Blind means it is very dangerous actually. It is blind from your perspective, but it is known to others. By somehow any other reasons, it is known by others. And the 4th one is unknown area. Unknown means it is the strength which you have. It is unknown from your point. You also don't know, as well as others also don't know. Here we can do one thing. We can open up to the hidden area, right? We can discuss the issues with the weakness which is unknown by others. The manager who don't know the weakness of yours will not be able to understand the reasons for non-performing the task. So, we should open up. Next is blind, where we can ask feedbacks. Feedbacks are always welcome. Feedbacks should be specified, should be honest, so that here you can improve yourself. This is an organization point of view. And last one is you should share. Here I have put the arrows to understand. Next comes socio-psychological theory. What do you mean by socio-psychological theory? How person behaves, how we behave in our day-to-day life. To understand that, we need to see emphasizes on important role played by society in forming the personality. This theory is based on this theory is emphasis on the important role played by society in forming the personality. Next comes men tries to meet the needs of society and vice versa, society helps them to meet their needs. Next comes interaction. Interaction is the foundation of personality. Let's take an example. If you don't interact with your classmate, will you be able to understand what is being taught today? Will you be able to understand the topics which is there in your course? So, communication is very important part. Next comes, the theory assumes personality as the sum total of all that a person has learned. Let's sum up. Today we have understood the various aspects of human communication. Then we have explained the barriers of communication to understand its effects on performance. Third, we have studied the Jahari model, how we can apply in our life. Lastly, we have learned the socio-psychological theory related with the personality development. Herewith, we come to an end of our session. Please read our online content, answer the questions based on which we have studied today. Thank you.